Hello and welcome to this mini tutorial, mini workshop on arms and how to improve how we carry our arms and how we dance with our arms so that it's not only aesthetically pleasing but also healthy for our bodies. My name is Lenka and I come from the Czech Republic and I'm an instructor at FCBD University. This workshop will cover a little bit of theory that's really necessary to understand what's going on with our arms, with shoulder blades, but also with the rib cage, because arms are connected onto our bodies through the shoulder blades and they are attached to the rib cage. So it's really important what we do with the rib cage as well as with the arms. It's not only what we do with the arms in space, but also how we feel it inside the body and what's going on inside here. But of course, I just want to emphasize one point here, and maybe you know this, but it's really important to understand that the body, it's not separated pieces of arm here, leg here, butt here. It's all one thing together. The body doesn't really understand that we see it as separate pieces, that there are four limbs. It just works all as one in one union. So it's not only about rib cage and arms, it's also about your feet, your ankles, your knees. This is all connected. But for the sake of space here and time, we will only look at the arms, because otherwise we would be here for about 3 days or something like that. So I just want to say, and I won't repeat it again, I just want to say that whenever we are working on anything in the body, in the basic posture for the sake of fat chance belly dance style, please keep in mind that you want to use your feet parallel as much as possible, but of course then we are in our dance angles, so you know that we don't always stand with our feet parallel, but whenever you can, please do feet parallel and the knees are slightly bent. You feel that you have space to go front as well as back. So yeah, I would call it like a space in the knees. Right? A slight bend. And then of course your pelvis, it's not really tucked under, it's more like it's pulling down. Right? Imagine that your pelvis is a big bowl filled with water and you don't want to splash front or splash to the back. So it's really somewhere in between. And then gently pull it downwards. You can also run your, index finger down through this bone or along this bone, and then feel as you press against your finger. And then from that finger, you gently pull upwards. And so here we go. Let's dive into the theory of the rib cage and the arms. So one thing that I want to emphasize here, maybe it's another thing, I already emphasized one. So another thing that I want to emphasize is that sometimes we tend to overdo our posture. We feel like fat chance belly dance style, this is this proud dance form, right? So we really engage everything in our core and then we go up, 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 up. But what happens is that the posture looks like this. And then look from the front how it looks. How does it look to you? Does it look strong? Or does it look that it's very stuffed here? What I feel personally inside my body is that there's a lot of tension in my neck. So this is not really comfortable, and this is overworking the back muscles right here. So to dance in this position, it's not really pleasant for me. And so what we want to do with our dance posture is that first and foremost we want to be in our human posture. And a human posture doesn't look like this. This is how we very often stand. So we need to learn how to go back into our basic human posture. We need to learn and relearn our muscle memory to be in this human posture. And only from this human posture we can make it a bit more strong looking. So the basic human posture from here, I'll try my best, would be something like this. Can you see the difference? You can also see it on the belly. Okay, right here. This is how I stand when I'm not paying attention to myself. And this is much better. So what happens is that the lower ribs, and I'll go closer so you can see, when we are not paying attention, it looks like this. So the lumbar curve, it's again too much. The pelvis is sticking out. The ribs are sticking out, and we want to pull them in gently as you pull the pelvis down. And so what happens is that you might feel suddenly that you are rounded. And it's a trick. It's a trick. The thing is that your thoracic spine, it is rounded. It should be rounded. That's the purpose of the spine, to have a thoracic curve in this shape and the lumbar curve in this shape, right? So that it absorbs pressure. That's what the purpose of these curves is. So the thoracic curve should be rounded. But with this posture, or with this posture as we sometimes do it for the dance, it is flattened. And when the thoracic spine is flattened, what happens is that the shoulder blades are not attached to the back properly. They are in different place. And what happens as a result of this is that the arms are not really working properly. And you can feel a lot of, I don't know, maybe sometimes even pain, or the shoulder is not working as it should be. And so it's more like, ooh, it's not feeling very natural. That's the word. It's not feeling natural. So we really want to have a curve, a rounded curve in the thoracic spine. Look at my spine. My thoracic spine is very flat. It looks like this when I'm not paying attention. And when I do, it's this. And you can see it on the shoulder blades as well. Right? So let's try an exercise. Let's go down. I'll show you from the side. And we will be on the knees. If you have sensitive knees, go ahead and put a blanket under the knees. And then we will put the top of the forearm on the floor. So my hip joints are right above the knees. My shoulders are right above the elbows. And then what I do is that I'm pressing the forearm and the wrists into the floor. My fingers are gently extended. There's no tension inside them. And as another point, I'm slightly pulling the spine long. I'm trying to make the spine as long as possible. And what happens, as you can see, from this position, when I'm relaxed, I make the spine long and I press into my forearms, the top of my forearms. Be careful not to stick out your head, right? It's not relaxed. And in this position, as you can also feel yourself, your ribs are not sticking out, your shoulder blades are engaged, and your shoulders are down from your ears and to the side. This is your human, basic human, natural position. And this is the position that you want to also have for your dance. And if you have this position, then you will feel how relaxed inside you can be and how beautiful it is to dance when you are all aligned and the muscles, let's say on the top of your body, can be relaxed. Because if they are not relaxed, there's a lot of tension if you have to hold your position like this. But when you are aligned properly, the inside holds your body upright, and then the outside can relax. And you use the outside muscles for dance to move your limbs. So, we had this position. Now, let's try it upright standing. Remember, feet parallel, slight bend in the knees, pull the pelvis slightly down, a big bowl of water, and then put your arms right here. So elbows are right in front of your shoulders, and then you are pressing or pulling, no, that's the word, pulling. There's a traction in the top of your arm, and you're pulling the elbows away from you. And you can feel that as you are pulling away to the front, that your shoulder blades are engaged again. And try relax and pull. And relax and pull. I'll have a look if it's, yeah, you can see it a little bit on my back. So I'm pulling and relaxing. Pulling and relaxing. So this is what you want to have, what you want to feel for dance, right? If you want to engage your shoulder blades, as we sometimes or very often hear our instructors say, engage your shoulder blades, you need to work with your elbow, because your elbow is what engages the shoulder blade. It's not like, what do you want me to do? No, you are working with your elbow to engage your shoulder blade. So try this. You're standing in your basic position, and I'm standing on my mark, and then you're pulling your elbows to the front, and then keep this tension right here, keep this sensation that you have in your shoulders, and then just open, and you're opening slightly to the diagonal, and then go back, and just work within these two positions. Pull front, and then pull to the side. There is a lot of traction in this position when you're pulling along your fingers to the side. So one mistake that I often see my students do, and I always correct them, but it happens again, is that some of them, they are pulling the arms to the back. They are pulling them, the shoulder blades, they put them behind their back. And what happens is, as you can see, this. So this is the correct position. And this is when the elbows are behind my back. And what happens is, you can see this line. It flattens the thoracic curve that we want to have. And now you cannot really dance properly. It doesn't look good. It feels actually painful in my shoulders. And I don't have any issues with my shoulders, but this feels really icky, right? And then just pulling them to the front, woohoo, magic happens. So again, try this with me. Your basic posture, elbows to the front. Keep the sensation along your shoulders, and then you open to the side. And again to the front. And to the side. Okay, so we have this beautiful position, but how do we carry our arms all the way up? So it's really tricky, because the body, it's not really meant to go like this. It's how would I explain it? It's really difficult for the trapezius muscles, the upper part of the trapezius muscle, to stay relaxed because what happens is it wants to help you, right? So what I would suggest right here is that try to go and really experiment with your body. What's your particular pattern of movement? Is it right here? Is it right here? Is it right here? Is it right? Like these millimeters where you are like, and it clicks, everything falls into place for you. So try and go a little bit wider. And as you are somewhere in this position, you want to slightly feel your shoulder blades pulling down. It feels like an elevator actually. So the shoulder blade, as your arms are going up, your shoulder blade is actually pulling slightly down. And try now when the arms are closer, that it's really difficult to do it. So when you're wider, it's easier. And when you are closer, it's more difficult. And then, of course, we have this beautiful pattern and this beautiful pattern. And relaxed. So it's, if you want to move more healthy, if you want to really look aesthetically pleasing to your audience and also to yourself, you need to practice very slowly. I would even say without music. That's why I'm not using any music today. Without music. And you want to practice with a lot of intention and trying things that you are not typically doing in the dance. That's also why we have this position, right? This is not a position that we have in our dance, but it gives you the feeling you want to have with your body, even if you are right here, along your shoulders. Right, I feel the space, I feel how my shoulder blades are pulling to the side. I feel how my core is engaged inside, but my belly is actually very relaxed. So what happens when we dance is that we have all of these, beautiful movements. And look, as I turn, look where I ended. Ho, ho, ho. So I need to constantly remind myself and check my body for this. Align, align. And if my aligned, then of course I work on my thoracic curve, on the rounded curve. And then my shoulder blades are working properly, right? So if you are to take one information from this workshop, it's really difficult to pick one, but I would say the thoracic curve, your upper back, it's meant to be rounded. It's not meant to be flat. So don't try to lift all the way up, because you are only making your human posture worse and worse, and it's more difficult to actually correct it. So the exercise that I gave you here was on your knees, on your forearms, the top of your forearms. You are pressing down, fingers are relaxed, your spine is long. And you also feel that your belly is relaxed, that your ribs are in, your lower ribs are in. You can breathe all along your core, your trunk. And it feels nice, it feels good to be in this position. So I would practice this and take this sensation. Remind yourself that there needs to be traction in your arms, that your arms need to be slightly on the diagonal. And even if you lift your arms up, you are not sticking out your lower ribs. Your pelvis is a big bowl of water. Heavy, it feels heavy, right? There's also a traction here along the spine. And it's really your elbows that manipulates the shoulder blades. Okay, so there is a lot of information that can be said about arms, about the rib cage, about everything, the smallest details in the posture. But this is what I picked for today. It's a mini workshop, mini intensive. It's up to you to really practice, because we can talk a lot, but if you are not practicing and if you are not doing something differently, there won't be any change. So take this one small piece, practice it for, let's say, 2 weeks every day, and see the difference, see the difference. If you want to work with me individually on anything about the posture, I'm available. Of course, privates are possible. We can also schedule or plan some workshop with FCBD University. That's also possible. I actually have just one like this in my mind. And this is a taster, so we'll see what happens. And enjoy the rest of your mini intensive for the birthday, for the launch of this beautiful YouTube channel. And I'll see you around. Lenka Adamkova here, and enjoy. Bye.